That was when I ruled the world.
It's developed a bit in Ireland over the last number of years. There has always been some investment from international firms and Irish companies, but increasingly there are US venture firms setting up in Ireland. So we often talk about fast ramp but long road. It's important for companies to prove their model on a small amount of capital, but once that's proved, that they have the long-term capital to be able to move very quickly. And with the presence of those international funds in Ireland now, there is both local capital and international capital to help the companies move. The companies themselves typically stay headquartered in Dublin, and certainly a lot of the founding team, and we invest in software companies, so a lot of the development team would remain in Dublin. But typically one of the founders would move to the main market for software. It tends to be a lot in the US, and they would set up a commercial team in the US. And that's a model that works very well. There's good technical talent locally. It's probably a lot easier to hire, and then commercially it's important to be close to customers, so wherever they are. I think I upset people by, I always say, an idea is worth nothing, capital is a commodity, and then it's just basically the talent that you can get behind that. So neither the entrepreneurs with the idea or the VCs with the capital particularly like that, but as a venture firm, we meet more individual people to try and get them into our companies than we do companies. So it really is a talent mapping exercise, because the first thing that happens when you put cash into a company is they have a recruitment need, and the founders often turn to the VC to say, where do we find these people? So it is a fully talent-driven business. It's difficult because the more investing you do, the more your time gets split, and the harder it is to help all of these companies. What we noticed is that there's a tipping point. If you invest in the same sector and same stage and invest more frequently, you reach a point where you've got less and less time on your hands, and then you get to a point where you have this group of entrepreneurs that are in the same sector and stage and therefore have the same problems, and then you can actually start bringing those parties together. So funds in the US have been doing this for the last 5 or 6 years. In Europe, it hasn't been done, typically because the funds are a lot more generalist, and it's bringing a semiconductor late stage entrepreneur together with a startup internet guy. They don't have as much to share, so the funds themselves, and we're a software only fund, that has enabled us to start bringing these entrepreneurs together, and they can help each other a lot more than we can help them. I guess the thing that we noticed most of all in the last 6 or 9 months is the pace at which some of these companies are moving. So it's maybe less on the areas that they're coming from, but it is changing the way we think about investing. So in the period of time between when we often put seed investment into companies and when they raise their next round, companies in the US can pop up and raise $10 million. So that's, for us, is a big change in the investment world. Is if you have an idea, if it's starting to work, you really need to be able to move very fast. Like we often talk about it, say that pace is the new protection. It used to be around IP and patents and everything, and now it's just really how fast are you moving. I suppose from an Irish perspective, we would like to see some more consumer internet companies come out. A lot of what is in Ireland is enterprise software, and that's just the DNA of a lot of the people that are based there. But we'd like to see that blend change a bit. But there's no specific area. I suppose back to your question about talent and idea, we're not so worried about the idea. We would like to see some great entrepreneurs come at us, and everything else can more or less be fixed.